It is now straight up 8 o'clock here at the beautiful. Well, we're not at the studios today. Let everybody know what happened today. At the studio, for some reason, the internet was going in and out, and so I had my interview at 11 o'clock. So I turned around at 9:45, left the studio, and came to the house. So that's a blessing having able to come to another studio to still broadcast. So I was able to do everything, and plus it's 8 o'clock here. So I came home, so I made sure I cooked dinner for the wife and all that good stuff. And my nickname is Benson. People call me other things, but it's Benson around the house. What you got for dinner? You got one job to do today, and that's take out something for dinner and cooking. Anyway, y'all don't want to hear all that, but anyway, here we are right here live in the studio, and we got Mr. Joseph Lee all the way from Japan. And what time is it over there? 10 o'clock in the morning?
It is 10 o'clock on the dot a.m. Konnichiwa. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing good, doing good. So
Yeah.
you know what's been going on, and it was a dramatic shift that happened about 1:30 Sunday afternoon. It was during church when I got that text message on what happened that Biden had dropped out. And you would think that everybody would just be, they was like relieved.
Mm.
I never seen such like taking the air out of the balloon. It was like, oh, like they was all doing yoga at the same time. I'm not making fun of it, but everybody said, "What's gonna happen if you do? What's gonna happen if you do?" Well, if you could raise $100 million within 48 hours, I think we did all right.
Well,
So,
shout out to one of the Divine Nine, the AKAs who Camilla Harris, I'm sorry, is a member of, and they raised a lot of money, in a short amount of time. I think it was like 20 something million. They real quickly in a short amount of time, and then after that it rose to 53 million, and then other Black Greek organizations. I know I'm a Kappa. I know we contributed some funds to the campaign. So, and I would imagine most of the Divine Nine did, as well as a lot of support coming in from a lot of celebrities. Barbara Streisand was quick to endorse, Camilla Harris, and then there's a few other folks that quickly endorsed Camilla. So I think things have shifted in a very interesting way. I did notice that initially, and as far as I know, President Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi have not endorsed her as of yet. But I would imagine, they are kind of waiting a little bit to go ahead and put that boost a little later,
yeah.
for the endorsement. Because I mean, at this point, I think it's all hands on deck to try to get Camilla. And I hear some interesting comments on Facebook, and I want to, after we shift and pivot to our next topic, because I definitely want to talk about something that's really concerning me that I've noticed on Facebook. Um, I've noticed there's some interesting comments about the Black community and just automatically supporting Camilla. Uh, and I might be saying that wrong. Is it Kamala or Camilla? I don't know if it's Camilla or Kamala. I don't know. But it's spelled like Kamala, so maybe I need to say
Yeah.
Kamala. Sounds like my mother's name similar because my mother's name was Pamela. So I'm gonna say uh, Kamala. Um, they're saying that we shouldn't necessarily support her just because she's African American, and I'm thinking there's a lot of other things to support her for, right?
Right.
Mainly that she's the most competent candidate, you know, if nothing else. But there's nothing wrong with supporting an African American candidate if you're African American. There's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
that. I think you could look at it as, why not? There's nothing. What's wrong with having some unity within the community? It even rhymes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's why don't we build with that? Have some unity in the community. But I get it. We're not just one monolithic group. We have individual thoughts. We have the right to have our individual thoughts. But my goodness, I think sometimes we get lost in the weeds and trying to say something different when it's time to fall behind, as folks have fallen behind Trump, right? So there definitely seems to be a white nationalist push for Trump, because I see a lot of ridiculous things that Trump has said that, regardless of what race you are, you could not follow him. So, there's some questions about her role as a prosecutor. There's some questions about this, that, or the other. But let's look at her competence. Let's look at her education, and let's look at who the best choice is on the ticket, and who can unify the country more than divide the country. And I think that's a clear answer. We try to stick with reality here on this show. And I think the reality is, it's clear that Kamala is the best candidate. And that kind of rhymes a little bit. Kamala is the best candidate. I
Yeah.
like that. It's got a ring to it. So run with it. But I look forward to the debate. Uh, I can't wait. That's going to be another one. Like, I was waiting for the debate with Barack Obama. And I was waiting for. I'll be waiting for this one. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think Trump wants to stand in front of a prosecutor with 34 felonies and talk about a debate. But I think Van Jones, even though he was pretty emotional, crying up there, on the news, talking about this moment. And I think he correctly depicted what the moment was like. It was like when you have your grandfather or your dad who's gotten up in age, and you got to take the keys,
Yeah.
and it's a painful thing. And it was I thought it was a very honorable and what's the word I'm looking for? Honorable, but also a leadership thing to do, to step out of the way, knowing that you're more of a liability than an asset to the cause at that particular moment in time. And right now, I think that I don't know. I think that he still had a path to winning. Um, if the Democrats would have got behind him the way they needed to, but they weren't. They weren't. The debate was clearly not the best moment for Biden. But then again, I don't really consider that a debate. It's only a debate if they're both talking about facts. One person was just talking about foolishness. The other person was trying to talk about substance. And obviously, at 86, I think President Biden is, you know, there's going to be some cognitive, drag there,
Yeah.
possibly. Yeah. And that's what you saw. But to me, there wasn't no contest. I mean, if a person is just going to stand up there and lie the whole time, I mean, and hit you with a couple zingers is that a debate or is that just a show? So it's almost like we were watching The Apprentice in reverse.
Yeah.
Like the guy who got fired was trying for the job again, and trying to get to win the job. It's so I don't really, the debate wasn't too much of a factor. I saw, but I did see President Biden struggling, but he was struggling against somebody who was, just up there being a con man, as he normally was. And I have to say, this is going to be it's going to be an interesting race
Yes.
at this point. I think the race really begins now. And I think that the Republican Party is going to have a fight on their hands, because they're going to have to continue to put false information and rhetoric and push the greed, fear, and phobia. And then you've got a clear person who knows how to deal with the spins. And, you haven't really heard much. I will say, you haven't really heard much from Kamala. You haven't really heard much during the vice presidency. Now it's time for her voice to be heard. And I think it will be. I think it's going to resonate. She's come out of the blocks swinging. So I think we need to, I think we need to go ahead and solidify around Kamala, and when she gets that nomination, which I'm pretty sure she will, we need to make sure that in this election we don't have confusion as to what we're trying to do. It's too much on the table.
Right.
It really is too much on the table, and there's some very concerning trends. I wanted to talk about that for a minute because um, I don't know if everybody's been watching on Facebook. Everybody's timeline is like, or news feed or whatever it's called, is like mine. I'm seeing a lot of people, African American people, missing, youth, women, and I want to share my screen if I can in this new high tech
Let me see
world.
if I got it set up for you to share your screen.
Yeah, it's disabled right now. Um, but I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show some of these folks. I pulled up my Facebook page,
Okay.
and you know, so we're gonna get. They didn't hack my Facebook page yet, Ron. So
Okay.
uh, it's still showing disabled. So
I'm
I don't
getting
know if it.
together. Oh, that's
Oh,
me.
you getting something?
That's me. I don't want me. I want you.
All right, we're gonna get it together, man. I know you're gonna get it together if anybody can.
Yeah. Let me. You go ahead. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do some things while I'm gonna take myself off camera so I get up and do it.
Okay. Yeah, so the reason this is so concerning to me is it kind of reminds me back in the day when I was younger at the Atlanta child murders, where people were missing, and then came to find out that it was kind of some hate crime stuff going on potentially, and I that always had kind of piqued my interest about our kids coming up missing, what the cause could be and what was going on with that. And if you look under the Georgia Bureau of Investigations and Atlanta child murders, I think you'll find some interesting things there that was put out there and who was actually suspected to be involved with that. So I know that I'm interested right now in what's going on, I don't know if everybody else is noticing what's on the news feeds, but I'm definitely uh, noticing uh, people missing, right? So I
Yeah.
think we need to be conscious of that. I think we need to have our head on the swivel. And I'm just gonna, quickly scan through once we get it set up.
I think. I'll see if you can share it now.
Okay. Oh yes, let me do it. All right.
All right.
Let's see, desktop one. And so I've got some caution signs. I don't know what that. It's not really letting me do it. Let's see, open system settings. All right. Are we seeing something now?
No.
Okay, let me see. I have to allow it. I'm on a new computer, so let's see. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it. Oh, it says I'm gonna have to quit and reopen. So I'm not gonna do that. All right,
Okay.
so uh, who knows what'll happen if I do that? I know it's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
So I have to do those settings, a little later. So anyway, just maybe we'll figure out something there. Just take some pictures off of my Facebook page of the folks that are missing. I wanted to show those folks. We can maybe do that for the next show because really, I've got surgery next week. So appreciating the thoughts and prayers for that for the folks that knew about it. Now everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I mean, I offered to fly over there and do it, but Joseph told me no.
no, 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 no. Yeah, they actually had to reschedule it. It's just, outpatient procedure, so
Yeah.
nothing earth shattering, thank goodness. And but the surgeon tested positive for COVID, right? Haven't
Yeah.
heard that name in a while. So they fortunately caught it, and they rescheduled it. So, but definitely, I'm thinking when they had this topic for it's concerning me so much. I want to talk about it for 2 weeks. So I talked to Craig about it. Actually, Craig is the one that told me, that I should maybe bring it on the show. I've been posting it on Facebook, but I think we need to heighten the attention and make sure that people are really, watching their six, keeping their head on the swivel, That's an old military term. Watch your six. That means watch your back. When they say watch your six, and kind of see what's going on, and keeping a closer arm around your youth, your family, because something's got to be going on. I've never seen so many people missing, or at least showing up on the timelines missing. And we're talking about, primarily kids, but adults as well.
Yeah.
So, something's going on. So, we've been kind of groundbreaking on this show on a couple areas. So let's be groundbreaking here and hopefully helping to protect and bring back folks and helping people to be more conscious about what's going on.
Yeah. I
So,
remember.
I'm in Japan, I'm still worried about what's going on in the States.
Yeah, I know. I remember. They were arresting minorities one time before the election just so they wouldn't vote. I remember they
Mm.
did that and got caught doing that. The latest thing that they've been caught on, there been people going on saying I'm black and I don't like Harris, so I'm not voting for it. Found out it was a Republican posing as somebody else. They busted three of them already, and they put the pictures up there. So they're doing that right now. They just do whatever they can to do that. And number one, I don't know about you, but I don't listen to everybody. I make my own decision. You don't have to turn around and tell me this is going on. I know what's going on. And that's what the
Well, yeah.
American people need. They need to start getting that education on everything, knowing what's going on.
Listen, that's one of the things, about this show. We take some time, do the research, and think for ourselves, right? And we've welcomed other people to come in and give comments or feedback or whatever. But, like the politician found out when they came to the karaoke spot there, you
Oh,
can't just come in, yeah, you just can't walk into the arena or the Lions Den with no foolishness. At that point, did that guy keep running? Or did he drop
no.
his candidacy
The
after he
only thing
left?
I know, I turned around and got on him, and you came and said, "Ron, I got this," because he
No,
just
I
kept.
don't put it on me.
Yeah,
Do
no,
not
no,
put it
no.
on
You
me.
told because I was telling him some things. He said, "No, no, no, Ron. Let me go and take care of it." You spoke very eloquently
Oh,
about that,
don't,
and
don't even try it, man.
I did.
Ron,
I did. I just jumped dead on him. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't come in and start lying up in front of us. Come on now.
yeah, yeah, I forgot what I said, but I know. That man wish he would have never got up and said he ran because it
I
didn't go his
don't.
way.
You know what? I don't remember him even leaving.
No, he went and hid in the corner. I think
Oh,
after well, I mean, he went up there and hid in the corner for a minute, and then I don't know. I don't remember him leaving either. To be honest with you,
yeah,
but I know he just sat down, which and that's how it should work. I mean, when you get up in front of people with foolishness and not with facts or with the fact you think you should do something, I think this is one of the greatest things about the country is that you can run for office, but if you don't have anything substantive, you can't just, you know, come around folks that know what's up and know what's going on and just sell us anything. And I think that's what some folks are trying to do. And I'm hoping that that's not going to work out, right? I mean,
yeah,
politically, but right now I have to admit, I don't know. I don't know what this landscape is going to do, and I'm not going to worry about it, right? That's the other thing we've got to understand. There will be life after the election, and one of the things that we're trying to focus on in this show is how to deal with the after cult mentality that we're seeing. Because there's some people, just logically, I'm not trying to. If you're a Trump supporter at this point and fan and following, I understand that logic and reason may not be the way to get to you. Because at this point, I mean, you've seen facts, you've seen felonies, and the alternative fact machine has influenced people's decision making process. So that thing that you said, we haven't really we can't really get to those folks that way.
yeah,
I think what you have to do is, maybe get the folks around them that still haven't been completely sold into the cult mentality and say, maybe this is not the best way to go. And I see the assassination of attempts of Kamala's character, um, and it's just really amazing to me uh, what people's biases will do to change their facts about reality. Um, I was thinking about the equivalent of Don King in the African American community, excuse me, of Trump. I already gave it away. Is I think about Don King. If Don King was running for president, he wouldn't have a shot. He wouldn't have been taken seriously at all. But in a way, I see Trump as the Caucasian version of Don King. He's a promoter. He's kind of a kind of shisty. And he's been called on it, but he resonates with certain folks because he just doesn't change his stance. He just
Yeah.
keeps he just keeps it on his stance and off on his talking points. And some people buying that mess. But I don't know. We've been talking about it for a while. Um, I'm not trying to debate it. I'll let Kamala handle that, and I'll let you know the process
Yeah.
take care of it. But I know what our black job is, and we've said it many times before. It's to vote. That's one of our top priorities this year is to vote and make sure that we don't have Project 2025. That we're gonna have to add to our other challenges that we have to deal with,
Right.
and because that's generational.
Mm-hmm.
If Project 2025 goes in effect, we have made our children's future less secure. Just understand that, and we've also and I keep hearing this expression now, the DEI hire, you
Yes.
know, diversity, equity, and inclusion hire. That's I've heard somebody say that's the new word for using the N word when they use that when they say the DEI. Listen, I want to unpack that just a little bit. If there wasn't a need for diversity, equity, and inclusion, it would have never came to pass. First of all, second of all, I don't think out of the two anybody is a planet person who's not qualified. That would be Donald Trump. It wouldn't be Kamala. It would be it would be
Yeah.
Donald Trump. So you know, it's just interesting how people kind of try to turn things around a little bit, but we got to look at it. We got a person. What was Donald Trump's political training or political experience before he got in? What is his standing internationally? Does he even understand or have the influence to be respected? In fact, where I'm at right now, he's not even allowed into the country with 34 felonies.
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
you know, he's not qualified for the job right now. But he's put forward because some folks, like his approach, his style, or whatever the case may be, and I just don't see it, man. I don't.
Yeah.
I have a higher expectation for who's going to be a government official, and I think we've got to get back to that, the
It,
moral compass.
yeah. I want to touch base with you on something. Our brother here in town, and I talked to quite a few. We have some men out there that have never voted.
Wow.
Never voted. And our
Hmm.
brother, he put it down one way. You just mentioned something about our kids. He said, if you don't vote, how your grandkids gonna have anything? If you
Well,
don't vote,
yeah.
how your kids gonna have anything? How you gonna have anything? So we got an untapped market out there of black men who never voted.
Well, I got to work this in. A very close friend of mine just called me out of the blue, kind of like a brother. Shout out to Clavon Thomason over there in Detroit. We went to Michigan State together, our old stomping grounds, and we reminisced about all that. But he reminded me of my grandfather this morning, and you got to think about it. My grandfather was a fervent voter. It was a tradition to always vote on every election that we had, and we had this building when he was on the housing commission in Grand Rapids to go touch his name, on that building as we go to vote. And it was a tradition that I loved because if my grandfather and the community weren't voters back then, we might not have had the opportunities and things that we have now. My grandfather came from that civil rights era and broke the red line in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we talked about quite a few times here. And what we got to understand is we have a responsibility to the future to be active now. So if you're not voting, you are shirking your responsibility for your kids. So if you don't feel any obligation to yourself to vote, at least have an obligation to the future and to our kids to make sure they have the protections that our grandfathers, grandmothers, and great grandfathers and great grandmothers gave us. People died for that vote.
Yeah.
People bled for that vote. People, went through extreme measures for that vote. And like I think Common said it, if the vote wasn't important, so many people wouldn't be trying so hard to keep us from it, right? And trying to make sure we
Yeah.
don't do it. So
Yeah.
understand if we lose that voice, if we don't participate, we may completely lose that voice. The Voting Rights Act. Oh my goodness, and I can't think of his name right now. I see his face. John Lewis. Thank God. He was pushing for the Voting Rights Act. It still has not been passed, as far as I know, completely.
No.
Has it not been passed?
No, it has not
So
been passed.
understand. To me, that was a slap in the face when he passed away that they didn't go ahead and pass that Voting Rights Act. Now, you gotta understand what that means is very simple, that the right to vote can be taken away if that doesn't pass.
Right.
And in this day and age, that should be a no-brainer. But the question you have to ask yourself is, why is it not something that was passed? It's because they are kind of keeping their hand on the button in case things go way to the left and we wake up and realize the power that we have. And then you also have other checks and balances on how to keep things going a certain way with the electoral college, and we talked about that a few shows ago and why that's an issue right now. And we should probably watch what's going on with that, because trust me, the GOP is definitely doing some interesting things on that. Look who's running the RNC right now, and that's folks that are very much aligned with Trump, and they're going to have an influence on the electoral college. And then we've got the Supreme Court that's definitely compromised. You see that. Judge Cannon's decision, which is going to definitely be overturned, of throwing out the documents cases, which is absolutely ridiculous. That holding on to documents and not turning those documents in, and then um, just throwing it out as if these are not just documents that these are top secret documents, and the levels of top secret documents that are missing,
Yeah.
right? So uh, how do you just throw that out, right? And you're a judge. Uh, it's just to me some ridiculous things have happened. I think we have to keep our eyes on reality and not get consumed with the situation. Take a look at the beauty around us. Take a look at the things that can help ground us. Reach out to old friends. Reach out to people that are positive, and but just keep the lights on. Take a look at the situation. Okay, yeah, it's a storm outside, so I'm not a fool. Of course, I would like sunny weather, but I see it's raining out here, so I'm gonna put my jacket on when I go outside. Have common sense. Know the climate.
Yes.
But don't get so downtrodden because it's raining. It's raining right now. But we're not going to let let a little rain stop us from doing what we need to do. I think we need to get and rally behind the Democratic candidate. It really is a simple choice: insanity versus reality. That's
Yeah.
that's what that's what we're really looking at: insanity versus reality, and that's what I see. And I choose to vote for sanity and reality. And as a therapist, I guess that makes sense, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know,
So that's where we're at.
you wouldn't be sitting up there if, well, I use some of your lines sometime. I've been using that SOS very frequently now
Yeah, man.
with
Yeah.
people. And they say, where you get that from? I said, from the smartest man in Japan.
And the SOS is something I use a lot too. It's
Yeah.
called, and for those that don't know, that's stuck on stupid. When somebody's in SOS, sometimes you can't help them. And as another bit of information, my brother told me, I can't be mad at every fool out there because I'd be mad all day long. That was one of the things we talked about, one of the wise things that he said.
And that is
Uh,
so true.
so don't get mad. Just do what you can about it. Do what you can about it,
Yeah.
and that's what you got to do. And that's what we're gonna do for the vote. Yeah, that's what we can do about the insanity. We can vote. Hey, you got a little situation there. I'm talking to my daughter real quick. You got to take care of. All right. So you got a little dog here who's trying to get some attention. You hear him in
Oh.
the background. He wants to be on the show. He's a star everywhere he goes. Uh, we go take him to the beach and everybody comes running around. He's got those,
Oh. Yeah.
the little what is this? Pomeranian. My goodness, gets on my nerves. But he also gives a peace of mind too. He's a little anxiety dog when he's not giving you anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's something there. Okay, gotcha. All right. So anyway, multitasking today. But anyway, so what else we got? We got next week. I think I talked about Craig coming on the show and following up on this on all these folks that are missing.
Okay.
It is a concern. I need people to be mindful, watch. Their kids, the loved ones. Something's going on, man. This is a time that you got to keep your head on the swivel and kind of watch yourself. It kind of reminds me of the Atlanta child murders again. Um, I don't know if there's something going on with the current climate, politics, whatever, but do the research, man. I looked it up. I read about the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, what they thought and why they didn't release the information they did because they did not want a race riot to start.
Mm.
So, because Wayne Williams, there was no way he could have done all those murders.
Yeah.
There's some of them were happening almost simultaneously. The people missing and the places and whatnot were going and it didn't match up. And what they found is it looked like the Klan and other hate groups or the Klan primarily was involved with that. So I don't know if this is another attempt. I don't know what's going on with it. But all I know is when I'm starting to see multiple people missing and hitting timelines, and I gotta pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So next week, that's what we're gonna dedicate a part of the show to.
Okay.
To Craig said he can get on, and I have him take some of the pictures off my page, his page, and we can show him on the show. Hopefully, have him share his screen and show some of those folks, and hopefully we got what about 30, 40,000 listeners. Hey, we're trying to get as much exposure as possible and help out as
Right.
much as possible. Yeah.
Right.
So
Which is good, for them getting out there. We did get not a question, but somebody's opinion.
okay, all right. Hey, we got something. Yeah,
It was. I don't know why people are scared to come on here. We're not gonna beat them up.
Yeah, right, Ron.
We're not gonna beat them up. Man, see, here you are. It's like bad cop, good cop, and I'm the bad one, huh?
Yeah, hey, I'm just going from experience. That poor little politician, man. God bless him.
I just say sometimes that northern Chicago area comes out sometime, and I got to put it back in the bottle because
Yeah, man.
I don't play that. Well, the only thing they were saying was their opinion about the show that we are right on point on what we're doing, and they would like for us to concentrate more on with the election coming up on the side of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
But what they said was people is how do you, let me read it again. Anxiety is what people is having right now before the election. So
Mm-hmm.
what can we do? And left it at that. And I replied back to him. I said, "So what you mean? What can we do?" I said, "You got to be more specific about that." He replied back saying, "Well, what can we do by being with the anxiety attacks that's going on? Because sometimes he feels like he's hyperventilating when he starts talking about politics."
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, let me, so we've talked a lot about what we could do. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we changed the time, so you can see the beautiful background and setting and all that. And I did that for a symbolic reason, as well as a real reason. You have to put yourself in situations where you can take care of yourself mentally. And that means very quickly, and just give one of the things you can do is unplug from watching the news. Do not watch all the news, all the spins, all the things that are going on with this election. It's unnecessary. Be educated enough to know what you're going to do and be able to intelligently talk about the facts as best you possibly can, and then leave it alone. I'm actually encouraging folks to not talk to some folks. A situation happened here in Japan where this crazy guy came and started following my wife around in the store, and I'm out here swimming. And it's funny because I'm always usually, if you know us, me and my wife and my family usually always together. But this guy came and said, "Hey, I've been trying to find somebody to argue with about politics." So no, those type of folks you
yeah,
don't really, like I said, if their mind is already made up and they're SOS, yeah, you're gonna have anxiety. Yeah, you're gonna have issues. But one of the things to help with the anxiety is realizing what you can and cannot do. You are not responsible for everything that goes on with this political process. You're responsible for one thing and one thing only, and that's to vote. That's what
yes,
you can do. So focus on that. Tell people who you're voting for and why, and then leave it at that. You can't worry about all these other, factors and things that are beyond your control. That's one of the things that hurts, or helps light the fire under anxiety, is when you're trying to control things you cannot control. You can go to the ballot box. You can educate folks that are willing to listen and debate. But if they are trying to argue, then they're not listening. That's not a conversation. So there's a good saying that I never argue with a fool.
mm.
Never argue with a fool, because a person approaching you won't be able to tell the difference. Once I
Anything.
see a person, once a person is telling me, "Hey, I don't really care about the facts. This is how I feel." Well, if you want to tell me how you feel, then I can let you schedule an appointment, and I'll bill you for that. But
What?
if you want to know what the facts are, I will give you the research and the reason, and I will tell you the difference between a bad, illogical decision, a logical decision, and then there's a sound decision. And I will let you know what I feel is a sound decision and a logical one. And if you're in the irrational or incorrect side, I will let you know that. And if it hurts your feelings to do that, then you probably don't want to enter a discussion. Then it turns into an argument. And then what I'm not going to do is argue, because that's a waste of my time and that's a waste of yours. So, one thing I will say to you: if you're anxious and you have anxiety, don't argue with fools. Okay, that's another one. And fools could be in your family, fools could be on your job, fools could be in the grocery store. Look, it's like rain outside. Fools are everywhere. All right. So with that being said, somebody might say, "Oh, well, you're a fool." Okay, you can think that, but my life is my evidence. I mean,
Right.
I have problems and issues like everybody else, but the reason I'm able to succeed is, number one, God. Two, I'm on a firm foundation with what I know how to do, and I found what my purpose and calling is in life, which most people don't do. And now I'm using that to get to this platform so I can help other people get health and understanding and knowledge. So um, anxiety is a form of can be pushed from a form of depression as well. That's how it manifests itself. Anxiety is sometimes when your life is unmanaged and you transfer your feelings onto things you can't control. Anxiety can come from a lot of different things, but lean on your faith.
Yeah.
Lean on your faith. If you are a Christian or whatever faith that you subscribe to, I'm a Christian, so my faith, I go right to Psalms, I go right to Proverbs, power of the two P's, and understand that there is a sovereign power above all these politics, and find some solace in that. They call faith, Christianity is my refuge, my rock. That's where I stand on when all this other stuff don't make sense. Then I just go to that. But taking care of yourself also is some other things you have to do physically. Watching what you eat, watching what you drink, watching what you input into your mind. What type of shows do you watch all day? Take stock of what things you do all day long. Does this help with my anxiety or does this hurt my anxiety? Take stock of the people you're around. Do they speak positivity or are they always negative?
Mm.
So anxiety is a measure. A lot of times that something is wrong. So you got to look back and like, hey, what's going on? What's going on in my life? Maybe you have too much caffeine in your system and you're chomping at the bit. If you're not sleeping enough at night, that
Yeah.
can push you to be anxious. So watching TV late at night, going to sleep worrying, and waking up and doing the same thing. So if I was talking to this person, I would say examine your patterns, examine your life, and see what things are causing you anxiety and remove
Yeah.
them. You know, we talk
Exactly.
about politics. My wife would tell me, I'll tell my wife, I don't want to talk about that today. I'm not letting that, I got all this beauty around me. Why am I going to worry about this foolishness?
So when you said all the beauty around you, are talking about your family, right? Not the scenery.
I'm talking about all the above.
Okay, I'm just checking. I want to make sure.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
'Cause-
talking about, and we all have something beautiful around us. If not,
yeah,
find something.
that's true. I'm gonna throw
You
something
know,
at you. I'm gonna throw something at you. You said something that resonate with everybody who has somebody at work that constantly complains.
oh Lord, yeah.
And people are tired, sick and tired of being sick. This every day, something negative coming out that person's mouth. You want to go up there and say, dude or woman, what, man, stop. You complain every day, but they don't. But they sit down, listen to every day. Wouldn't that cause them to have a little anxiety with that person complaining all the time? And the person's not going to change. Now, unless you quit and get another job or whatever, but people are in that role every day. They go to
Mhm.
work saying, oh, God, here I am going to listen to this crap for 8 hours.
Mhm. Well,
You
I got
know,
a message for both per- people in that scenario. The person is listening to the person complaining, and the person is complaining. Look, unless you're fortunate enough not to have to work, you have to be at your job for a significant amount of time. So why make it negative? Why make it negative? Or why be around somebody that's negative? Now, here's the thing. If a person is focused on being negative, you can change the narrative. And when they come to you with that, you can stop and say, hey, I know you're probably going to say something that is wrong, but let me tell you what's right about what's going on today. You're breathing, number one, right? Two, you got a job. A lot of people don't have that. Number three, I think you can come back tomorrow, and there's hope and faith that you could do that again. So regardless of what's going on, you got a couple of things that are positive, right? Or you can just tell them, and I'm kind of blunt, and you are, and say, hey, I just don't want to hear it today. I just don't want to hear any negativity today. And you have to protect your peace. Everybody say it with me, just listening at home. Protect your peace. So when you go to work and there's somebody that's going to address you. Now, keep in mind, sometimes you have to deal with a situation. Somebody's affecting you. Somebody's not allowing you to do your job, or somebody's harassing you in your job. Sometimes you have to put them in their place, and you do that as professionally as possible, and then you move on. But when you got that negative person that is just constantly bringing you down, whatever the case may be, let them know. They may not even be aware that that pattern is what they're doing, and be like, well, and if they don't receive it, then okay, that person's stuck. And what do we do with people that are stuck on stupid? Gotta leave them
Let them
there
know.
until they
Yeah.
decide to let them decide to move on, or wake up, or realize what's going on. You know, that's all you can do in that situation.
You know,
Um,
when I was working and it was negative people around, if anybody been a parent, you know how to zone that person out. And I'm good at that because how can you do that around your kids? Say, trust me, I know a hurt cry, I know a hungry cry, I know all that's going on. Okay,
yeah,
so I could zone people out, and they said, "Did you hear what I said? Oh, did you say something to me?"
yeah. My
You know,
I've been doing that for a long time, man. Since I was in high school, me and my buddies and my people that know me, we had this thing called ICE. And when we ICE somebody or ice them, that means they don't exist anymore. So they could walk in a room and we don't even see them. If they're talking, we don't even hear them. Don't put your hands on me, but other than that, you
yeah,
don't you don't exist. And it caught on, right? And then it became, nowadays that would be considered a form of bullying because it would be ostracization. But it wasn't done like that. It was when somebody, but see, the only reason, the ways you would have an ICE is if somebody is causing strife amongst friends, then we would ICE for you to get your mind back right,
yeah,
and we let you know what you're doing. Say, man, we don't want that drama. We don't want that mess. So we ain't trying to hear that. So instead of not trying to hear that, we would not hear you. We would just block you out and just keep it moving. So I want to get to that second person though. There's two parts to that. So we know what to do now for the people that are like that. But if you are that person that is always negative, just think about this. Your job could be someplace where you can make it positive. You might not be able to control all the factors at your home and your life or whatever, but when you come to your job, you could, make that as pleasant as possible. At least you have that, right? So a lot of people are taking the opportunity to where they could be happy and find some peace, and they're making it so they're stressed at home, and then they come home and bring that stress to work. So now they're constantly in stress.
yeah.
Break the cycle, break the cycle, uh, you know, and don't bring your stuff from home to
To
work,
work
and don't bring your stuff from work to
to
home.
home. Yep.
These things right here, these cell phones, have really blurred the lines on that. We're too accessible. It used to be a time where if you were fighting with your wife, or not, something ain't going right, when you got to work, you had a break from it. Now everybody can reach you at any time and text you and all that type of stuff. Sometimes you just have to take a break from stuff so you can actually think. That's how the brain actually works. You can't, you ever been studying for a test, you can't figure it out, can't figure it out, can't figure it out. And you say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep and try it again in the morning. You go to sleep, get some rest, wake up, and you understand it clear as day.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, why? That's because that's how the brain works. For that moment, particular time, you can't process it. When you go to sleep or when you stop, the brain still is working. Your subconscious continues to kind of unpack it while you're relaxing and rejuvenating yourself and recharging. Then you come back with a fresh mind, fresh mindset. You got it.
Yep.
So,
You look at
you
something
know,
and it was right there in front of your face all this time.
right in front of your face all the time. So, same thing with people, same thing with life. Some people you just don't get it. You look at them, you're like, how do you get so messed up? They're so focused on the issue that they can't even see it. I
Just like
always give an example. Like I have a person put a picture right up to their face and say, "Can you see it? Do you understand what you're looking at?" And they're like, "No, back it up." Oh yeah, okay, that's a ship, that's a plane, that's a boat. Yeah, that's because you've allowed yourself to back up from the situation a little bit, and you can then see it. And that's really what
Yeah.
a therapist does. We show you what the picture looks like so that you can see it in your life, right?
Yeah. So when I was in school, I'm dating myself. We didn't have computers. We actually had to go to a library and write and type and all that stuff. Well, I was
Right.
doing a term paper about 3 o'clock in the morning one time. I was going away. I got stuck on one word. You know what that word was?
What's that?
It.
Oh
I
Lord.
T T I. I said, it's time for you to go to bed, Ron. When you
Yeah,
get stuck on a little word like that, but I've been studying since what? About 6 o'clock that evening, all the way up doing
hold
that
on,
term
Ryan.
paper.
Hold on, man.
Yeah,
You got stuck. You got stuck on it.
I did. I think my mind was just so, it was out of it. I looked at it, no matter what I said, it just didn't look right. So I went to bed. Got up,
Yeah. You,
got up
so
the
when
next,
you,
got up the next morning and went through that paper. Had it all done by 10 o'clock in the morning.
hold on, man. I can't get past that,
I'm
man. You
telling you the
acting like,
truth. I'm
and
telling
listen,
you.
you acting like Glenn in here. You got stuck on you got stuck on it. So when you
Hey,
say it backwards, it's T.
I don't. It was one of
So
those.
okay, I
That
can't. All
that
right.
that wasn't a brain freeze. That was a moment.
That was a moment.
I
Yeah,
told my professor that. He looked at me and said, "Now some people get stuck on William or World or something like that, but on it, I said, I don't know." So he said, "How long you been studying?" I said, "From 6 in the evening to 3, a little over 8 hours." He said, "Well, you should have put your books down at midnight and went to bed."
yeah. So I'll just remember what I'm gonna date myself a little bit. Well, you guys must be a little older than me. We did have computers at home, right? But um, I didn't save my paper. I thought I was saving my paper. It was saying it was saving, and that bad boy didn't save. And it was due on Monday, and I had worked on it all week, and I thought I was just putting the finishing touches on it tonight, and I was going to go hang out. And went downstairs to get something to eat. Came back upstairs, the whole paper was gone.
Ooh,
So I was for the next couple of hours, I was trying to find everything I could to find that paper, and then I had to just start writing it all over again. So I stayed up for to see that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday, and then I had to turn the paper in on Monday. So I stayed up, those days,
yeah,
Saturday, Sunday, and I'm telling you, when that sun came up on Monday, I was out of it, man.
yeah.
I know how Steven Spielberg writes his movies. I'll put it like that. I went to sleep, and when I finally went to sleep, I don't remember much about the day. I know I made it over to my class at Michigan State, and when I got back home, I went to sleep, and I went to sleep, and I ended up dreaming a whole movie, a whole movie. That I probably could write to this day, but I wouldn't because it would be a psychological thriller, and I could. So what you did is what I did. You lost your mind for,
Yeah,
for a minute.
but see,
You
but
stayed
see,
up.
but see, I was going to Southwest Texas State at San Marcos at the time to get my certificate for teaching and all that, and this was before computers, so we had to write everything down and then type it. And so those of you who got computers today, do everything on your own. You got AI, you got all that. You will not survive where I was at that time. You had to write everything down. And if you turned it in, if it wasn't double space, they gave it right back to you for you to do it over again.
Oh yeah, I remember that double space. People try
Yeah.
to get slick and add a little extra space or whatever
Mm,
the case. Yeah, that wasn't working. So yeah, man, those are days, kids. Youth don't understand what we went through. Back then. And if you want to help your child, have them start writing and reading.
yeah.
They gotta do that. My daughter is irritated with me right now because I'm making her read some other books other
Mm,
than the fun stuff that she wants to read.
right.
But it's for a reason. If you can read, that's the foundation to education, period. Because
Exactly.
even with math, you have to know how to read, right? Because there's going to be some things, story problems, things of that nature, you're going to have to do. So that those foundational things, reading, math, science, but reading is so important. It's
Yeah.
very important, and
It
writing,
is. It
right?
is.
to express yourself. And
Mm,
that's where a lot of our youth are having problems. But I appreciate that question. What could we be dealing with? We've been trying to put it out there that we need to deal with anxiety. And there's so many different things there's so much information on the internet on how you can deal with anxiety. But your diet, getting enough rest, learning how to unplug, finding
yes.
some hobbies that you can enjoy, and they don't have to be expensive hobbies. But you can do some things like gardening. You can do some things like just going to the library. A lot of people don't understand if you've got a library around you, you've got an excellent asset to help you with anxiety. Go into the library and just pick some things that you want to read about. It's free, as far as I know.
Yeah, it is.
And you can find some things to help you improve your life, things that what area that you are interested in. Go and find. You can if you want to find out about anxiety, go to the library and get some books on anxiety. Go to some of these coffee houses, and one of the things, one of my favorite places to go when I'm studying or when I'm trying to get my thoughts together is to go someplace like Starbucks, or I forget the place I used to go to in the States now, doggone it. Can't think of the name of it. But you basically, where they have Panera. Go to Panera, get you some healthy food, healthier food. I think I used to get that broccoli and cheddar.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on now.
yeah.
She give me some green tea, and man, I'll solve all the world problem in about 2 hours. You give me, or mess around, give me some potato soup and some of that bread that they got. What?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me nothing. I got all the answers. You know what I'm saying? I could write 3 papers with that, and then you go up there, get you a little more bread, get you something else, and and just that energy, that synergy. Be around people that are thinking and focused on something other than the nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So find a way to unplug. Go on out to the country somewhere and just sit there.
My
Cut your
spot.
phone.
My spot is
Yeah.
for me to unplug. Okay, I went on vacation for the first time in years. I didn't do nothing with the radio. I just unplugged and stay away. Now my favorite spot is evening time come around like right now. I cut on the lights on the gazebo and just sit out
Oh,
there without a book
hold
or
on,
anything.
hold on 1 second, Ron. Are those cookies? Yeah. Get you some something else. We don't start off our day with cookies. I got to be a dad right now. Get some cereal or get something else. Okay. Yeah, we do. Go right up there. Yeah, got everything you need right in the kitchen. Love being able to say that. Everything you
You
need
need
right
it
in the
right
kitchen.
there in the kitchen.
Yeah, but
But
don't try to say, my daughter's smart. She's slick. She thinks my attention is off. So she's gonna come in there. Yeah, it's morning over here, so she's gonna come in at
yeah,
11 o'clock trying to get some cookies.
some milk and
No, man.
cookies.
Yeah, trying to get some milk and cookies. No, get on up there and get that cereal, that raisin bran, or that. So she's gonna get some cereal with some sugar in it. Yeah, so she thinks she's slick. Well, that's still cereal.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but get the milk. You do what you're supposed to do now. I'm still dad. I don't care what's
Yeah.
going on, dad.
There you go, Dad. So talking about unwinding and going to a spot. I sit outside. I don't bring my phone with me. I don't bring a book. I just sit there and enjoy nature for about a half hour, 45 minutes, just unwind.
Listen. Another thing. Well, I went to this thing called Fetcher Institute, and that's really what they do is they teach you how to connect back with nature. You stay in this like little cabin or hermitage, and they suggest that you don't use anything electronic. And something happens. You actually go through a withdrawal, really. You start looking at your phone, and you start, after about a couple hours, you like start feeling like I need to look and see what's going on. Like, but you don't. You don't really need to look and see what's
Yeah.
going on. But if something happens about that second day, it's just hard to explain when you're connected. And I remember I was just laying there. I had the window open, and you just once you feel that feeling again of that peace and that serenity of not focusing on the news and what's happening next or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why some of these folks out in Japan live so long, because they out here looking at this. You'd be surprised how many people I see walking right down this this walkway, this private walkway. It's private because most people don't know about it, and it's really for us to have villas here in this area. But in Japan, everybody owns a beautiful space is owned by everybody, right? And they come and they sit and they just lit. You can see them letting their stress go out into that ocean, you know. And that's what we got to learn how to do, man. We got to learn find a place, and everybody's got a park they can go to. They've got a place they can find, and I suggest you make a place in your home. When I go here, I'm not to be bothered.
Yeah.
Don't let me know. Don't and sometimes I make the announcement. Unless the house is burning down and somebody's trying to break in, don't contact me.
Yeah. Now, one other thing I do is I got 4 hours of running brooks, thunder in the background, rain, all that. I put that on and just relax doing that if I'm typing something. I don't have to listen to music all the time when I'm working. I put that on and man, I just fly through things. My mind is clear. I can do things and I'm ready to go. People need to download that. They got an app for that now. You can listen to that music. Well, not music, listen to their sounds of nature.
Listen, I've got an app that I use, and maybe I need to get a promotion or a discount or something because I get the Calm app, CALM, and they've got motivational meditations, they've got sounds, they even have an EMDR uh, sound that actually is designed to activate different parts of your brain to calm you down. And these things here, the AirPod Pros that have the noise silencing, you need this is in a package right here. When I need to go to my own little calm place or whatever, no distractions, put those on, put calm on right before you go to bed. A lot of people to understand you need to prepare yourself before you go to bed to sleep, to rest. Put this on, relax. That's another thing. Getting your sleep and then also helping your mind wind down before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's very, very important to do. And then throughout the day, take a minute, de-stress. Breathe, deep breathing. That's another thing for the person who wrote in. Learn how to do deep breathing exercises. And if you really want to do something, do them both together. The deep breathing, put some earphones on, listen to the calm, and take a moment each day to do that. You know, Even if you're working, when you break, take 5, 10 minutes to just de-stress. It'll make you'll be surprised how much of a difference that will make in your blood pressure, in your peace of mind, your focus, even your job performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. You're giving some good advice out there with anxiety.
Oh, look at that. Only 2 minutes over.
That's it. That's it. And I get to go and eat my cereal now.
See,
So
I guess
uh,
you loving this time now. You there in the morning. I'm here late in the evening, so it works out for both of us.
it does, and I appreciate the calls and the messages and people listening, and hopefully you take some of this stuff and utilize it in your life. Definitely want to have these pictures out here. I'm happy to see if I can get Craig to put some of
Okay.
them up for the next show. Want to dedicate some time for that,
Well, I'll get
and
everything set up to share for the next show.
okay,
I'll make sure to be able to share, and it's the same login. So if you send it to Craig, it's the same login all the time
okay,
for
got
you.
it. I'll make sure
Yeah.
he's got it.
Okay.
And we'll go from there, brother. But hey, man, you know the saying. Your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear a word you're saying. I love the show. Love being on the radio station. Love the feedback that I'm getting about the show. And let's keep doing what we're doing, and people keep listening. We'll keep doing it. If people want to hear something or find out about a particular area of mental health or whatever, let me know. We can put on here whatever people want to see. If
Right.
not, we just keep doing what we want, keep doing what we do.
Or you could text at 210-461-8034 because I do get some texts in. If you want something for next week or any question, just text us the information right there and put your name on there if you want us to use your name. I get a phone number. I'm not going to give a phone number out, but put down something down there. Elizabeth, Sally, Butch, something.
Make up something.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
something on there. All
John
right.
Doe or Jane Doe works too.
Yeah. All right,
Uh,
Joseph. You take care, my brother.
all right.
All
You
right.
too.
All
God
right.
bless.
Peace. All right. All right, everybody. That was Joseph Lee with Impact Counseling and Consulting Services here. Oh man, we really did enjoy what he was doing, what he was saying. Um, Also, I want to remind everybody to subscribe to our YouTube page. That's WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to it. Hit the notification button because every time we come on live, you're notified and you know what's going on. So once again, thank you, and we'll catch everybody bright and early tomorrow morning here. We got the vet coming on with the National Hair Society. She's going to talk about the Crown Act. So stay tuned for that. This is DJ Ron G on WSAN Radio. Peace and chicken grease. I'm out.